You see, growing up, I never have no talent. All I had was passion. And I don't want to make videos from high school. You understand? I wanted to be a content creator. So, 2 years ago, I decided to start make videos and start make content, but it's like it don't make no sense. Because the more I try to push positivity, and the more I try to make people enjoy themselves, you understand? All I am given is bad mind and disrespect. So you know what? You win. I'm done. I quit. Instagram, YouTube, everything. Finish. So, what on people, I don't know, say your boy Yaadman Etan. And the video that you saw in the beginning, that video was done a year ago. When I actually did quit YouTube. I actually did quit social media. For a couple of days though. And let me give you a little bit of background story before me even get into the details. You see, growing up, I wasn't as outspoken and as expressive as I am right now. Being able to have this much attention, I was frightened by the thought when I did a little bit. You see me? Growing up, especially in a high school, I didn't feel important. I didn't have the levels of self-esteem that I currently possess. In fact, I felt like an extra in my own story. I never felt like a main character. Who I was then, I've evolved. I've become someone much different now. And I realize that that is something that many people who knew me then cannot accept even till this day. More than just a dreadlock so I push out of my head. When I decided to become Yaadman Etan, I didn't realize how much bad mind was going to follow. I wanted to be a social media content creator ever since high school. Before it was as big as it is today. I just simply never had the resources then. I always knew that being a doctor, lawyer, or politician, the typical things that Jamaican parents expect of their children was not what I was destined for. But those typical job titles were probably things that people would have given me more support as opposed to making videos on social media. So when I became a content creator, I experienced, especially in the beginning, some serious hate and bad mind coming from people. So, at the time, I just decided to just make everybody happy and just quit. People, my own Jamaican people, did go out of them way for tear me down. Some of them somehow got my own personal number for call me, for text me, just to tell me to quit chasing my dream. Keep in mind, what I do does not affect their personal lives, And keep in mind that a lot of this was coming from people who I knew. And some of them from high school. You see, when I just started the social media comedy thing, I knew I was not the best. I knew that I was still green, that I lacked experience, that I had a lot of room for improvement. But I only had a handful of friends who actually supported me and gave me constructive criticism. But there were so many more people who discouraged me and attempted to tear me down and fought against me. And you see, the thing what it hurt me the most was that a lot of this bad mind, a lot of this negative energy was coming from people whom I didn't know personally, people who I once considered friends.
When I see my friends become my enemy, I ask if no link, no bar.
But me did stubborn. So I just blocked, deleted, ignored, and carried on. What I never understood is that these same people who refused to support me would support people who they don't know who are doing the exact same thing. People who I know who don't even know the likes of great comedians like Prince Pine and Gallus in Paris. You see me, I said, people like Fat Skull and Kevin Too Crazy and Dottie Berry and people like that. They would support them not knowing who they were personally. They would support them simply because they already made significant impressions on Jamaican social media. And I get it. A lot of the hate that I was receiving was coming from people who, some were, I guess I would consider my friends, and some at most, they were acquaintances. But because of the image that they had of me, of who I was in high school, they couldn't see me as I am now. The image of who I was in high school was that nerd who used to hustle and deal Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That soft-spoken person who minded his own business, who wasn't into the hype, who wasn't into the party. But they didn't know who I was deep down, that this was something that I ever actually wanted for a very long time. But because they're unable to see past what they knew of me, they decided to fight me and try to put me back in my place of who I was then. Now, I could move on. Let me talk about the content junker then. You see, one of the most annoying things with being a content creator are the junker them. The people them who will blatantly rip off your own work, rip off the own content that you make. Now listen, I'm not saying that content creators cannot make similar videos. You see me? I'm not saying that content creators can't make videos and be inspired by other people. Yo, in fact, when I did that Rate Me video in Kingston, I know that I was not the only person who did Rate Me's. But it was an idea that I had that I wanted to implement in Jamaica. And in turn, there's so many other youths who did Rate Me videos in Jamaica because they saw mine. And I found that cool. I was like, yo, I literally inspired youths to do something. But the issue that I have is when people take your scripts verbatim. When people don't even change nothing about your script, them just copy and paste exactly what you do. My issue was with the people them who they take my work and rip off my work word for word exactly. And I've had this happen to me a couple of times, but most notably, they come from people like Dino Crazy and Voldemort. And the reason why it annoyed me so much is because I know that if I did the same thing, people would have looked upon me and bash me for copy and steal from other people's work. Simply because I would have had a smaller social media presence. And this is an issue that I have with social media. Consumer, the average viewers, and content creators alike. People respect you more, not for the quality of work that you create, but simply for the number of followers or subscribers that you have. You can create garbage content, but simply because you have 50,000 followers, people are gonna rally behind you and laugh and kiki right behind you. Just because you're popular, just because you have clout. Some people even go as far as buying views and buying them followers because they know that people respect the numbers and not the quality. The time when Voldemort and Dino Crazy did You know, they piss me off with that, you know, them teeth on my video. I'm not even getting in that much detail. But what did upset me about it too is that when I actually try and reach out to Voldemort, the man actually diss me, you know. So I was like, alright, that's how it is, you know. Me not knock a man struggling, it's just respect. And I've never disrespected somebody in this same industry. You see me? That's not how I am. Me not diss people so. But the thing that upset me is that me know say, me could have never do the same thing to somebody who bigger than me. Because only would have quick for try attack me because of my smaller social media platform. And the fact that people respect you because of the number of followers you have or the number of subscribers you have and not the quality of your work, I find that to be complete bullshit. You see, my goal as a content creator, as a social media influencer, as a content creator, as a social media comedian, you see me? My goal was to represent where me come from. To give Jamaicans, and not just Jamaicans, but to represent the Caribbean, to give the Caribbean representation that them deserve, to put in the same amount of work and have work ethic what a lot of these big foreigners have. Not just on Instagram, but on YouTube. We put in work, I'm a sacrifice enough, yo. But the people that have been following me ever since I started this YouTube journey, when I quit my job to be a YouTuber before I was near being monetized, when they put me out of school because I never have the money for go to school, I'm gonna say I gotta focus on YouTube. And no fun look at me and laugh at me and call me idiot. You know that never know somebody that reached that far upon YouTube. My goal was to represent Jamaica, to represent the Caribbean, to be actual 100% authentic Caribbean representation, not this watered down bullshit that we get in the media.
Johnny, are you that? Bushmaster. Them call me Bushmaster now.
And even after all of the criticism, I still did not quit. I became an even better content creator. And I learned to do things that other Caribbean content creators were not doing. Things that some of them even can't do. Maybe I should just go.
Out in the street, they call it murder.
And since then, I realized that less people have been able to bite off of my style, and less people have been able to disrespect me. But I still was not getting the attention that I felt as if I deserved. And this time the doubt came from my worst enemy, myself. I began thinking that all the haters and all the doubters were right. That I've been wasting my time and I've been wasting my life. That my dreams would never come true. And I broke down. So I quit. But then I saw something that I've never seen before. Pure love, encouragement from people who I've never met before.
You just gotta keep your head up. Oh, don't you put your head down. Yeah, keep your head up. I know it's hard. Na 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 na.
From people who supported me and was rooting for me from the shadows. People encouraged me to keep pushing. People who I never thought were watching me. People who I thought were following the crowd and decided to hate me just because I'm trying to live my dream. So looking back now, if I did quit, I wouldn't have gotten as many opportunities as I have. I wouldn't have been booked to cover these amazing Caribbean events. I wouldn't have been able to become a representation for Caribbean people. A good and proper representation for Caribbean people. I wouldn't have been able to meet other amazing Caribbean entertainers.
Yaadman, Etan brave, he ready, he don't start, he ready. Them can't challenge he, them can't challenge he. Mark, you make all the girl them, boom, boom.
Hey yo, this is your Shitty Voice representing and endorsing for Yaadman, Etan, Jamaica, what we say? Large up.
Burn up, I mean I say the mark I represent for Yaadman. Done, you don't know what Tan, yo, God no, hey. At the general, you don't know if you now watch film channel, you now watch nothing, you hear that, the mark said that.
But you well don't know, say it's me, Ronnie, whom I'm representing for Yaadman, Etan, mad vibes, up, fullness.
Well, you don't know lyrical alongside Yaadman, Etan. Hey, give him the girl who come to give the guy now wine to remember. Yaadman, Etan, you don't know lyrical live and alive and a living color. Boom!
This is yours truly from the beautiful island of St. Lucia, picking up the one and only Yaadman Etan from Jamaica. You know, make sure you check it out. You know why? Yo capale, we gone.
Yo, this a girl really live on the ting. Keep it lock on Yaadman Etan, cause me love him so. Really live on the ting, say, hey.
Don't know this is Thunder bigging up Yaadman Etan, straight out of Jamaica. Follow the mass going and we going, Yaadman Etan, up men's.
Tap the screen, Yaadman Etan, we don't know where it go. Liquor Naughty and Thunder, we don't know. Atlanta Carnival to the fullest, the thing done. Boom! Jamaica Massive, big up yourself, Grenada to the world.
Yaadman, excellent!
Thank you, brother.
Yo, it's your girl Nyla Blackman representing for Yaadman Etan. You see me?
Etan?
Yeah, Yaadman, Etan.
Etan?
Yeah.
Etan?
Yeah.
You like eat?
Listen now.
Hey, you don't know, so it's a girl Shensia representing for Yaadman Etan. Shensia straight from Jamaica representing in Atlanta. Yaadman, big up yourself.
Thank you very much, my dear.
I wouldn't have been able to form bonds and friendships with amazing people in the same industry. And most importantly, I wouldn't have the love, support, and respect of all of my supporters.
Big up!
But yes, that's what I seem to be going on.
Yeah, I love Yaadman.
Listen, I'm sure.
He's very funny. I like it. Yes, Yaadman. Yaadman, yeah.
Yaadman got fans! Yo, he's gonna be so happy about that. Like I swear. Oh my gosh.
I've been admiring.
Yeah, man, like, he came when he down to Jamaica, like, he bring the shirt and we just, like, take it over, because I'm just, like, the shirt, we just love it. Hold on. Hopefully, probably repost it. Oh!
So moral of the story, fight for your dreams. And one day, your dreams will fight for you. Oh, and yeah, bad mind. Yeah, we're not gonna quit.